Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 3DO Experience, the 3DO Retrospective Podcast, where we talk about all things 3DO, the company, the console, and everything in between. I am Bill, and this is Threk. How you doing, Threk?
Oh, Bill, I'm doing all right. It's kind of warm outside. It's weird. How are you?
I'm doing good. It was like 70, almost 80 in my car when I was leaving work today. I was like, what the hell?
I got the window open. It's nuts, man. But it's supposed to get cold again.
Yep, that time of year.
Exactly. So, yeah. I figure I'd throw this on here. I finally got this motherfucking Bubsy thing. I'm sure I've mentioned it on the show before, but like I'd ordered the physical Bubsy Perfect collection like back in August of last year, and I didn't get it until like a couple days ago. Fucking limited run pieces of shit.
That sounds about right.
But it's here. So in the future, there will be content of me on the internet talking about all the Bubsy games. Not with Bill. We couldn't get them.
I mean, I own all the Bubsy games just the stupid way. Not that way.
It's okay. It's fine. Yeah. Well, I will give the collection credit, like as a collection of games, like the putting them all together experience of everything. It's pretty well done. Like the menus are nice. The like the music player and then like the museum of all the extra stuff is pretty nice. Like they actually went decently out of their way to make this like a nice presented product for what it is. So I'll give them credit for that. So good for them. Yeah, occasionally Limited Run does good work like that. Because I also got their Jurassic Park games collection because that's getting delisted at the end of the month. And that was like bare minimum. Which is a shame because some of those games are really good. Anyways, so before we get into our game this week, and you can hear Bill clicking away a bongo cap, if you know, you know. We'll get into our news for this week, just for Schnickerman. So I guess Schnickerman likes the news, so I have to keep doing it for him, right? So you remember that that new RPG that Bandai Namco was going to unveil?
Yes.
They unveiled it. It's called Echoes of Aincrad. I don't know, but it's a Sword Art Online game.
Well, Matt'll be happy, I guess.
Yeah. When I saw that, I just went, oh, okay.
How do you spell that?
AINCRAD.
Oh, yep, found it.
I think it's like a. Let's see.
Oh yeah, yep. This looks exactly like what I was expecting.
I don't think it's an MMO. It might just be like a first person, like a single player JRPG.
So if it, because I own like 6 of these damn things for some reason, even though I don't really watch the show or really care.
Yeah, that's weird.
They were probably on sale at GameStop, but
probably, yeah.
They're all basically just turn-based RPGs for the most part.
Okay.
RPG-esque games.
So it's another one of those for you guys. So yeah, it's a thing. Sure, I guess. It was very just kind of whatever.
It was very hooray.
Yeah, unless you like Sword Art Online, I don't think anybody cares.
I'll have to ask Matt.
Okay.
He might.
Matt can report in. I saw this and thought it was interesting. Apparently, so you know the RoboCop Rogue City, right?
Yes.
So apparently, it kind of got leaked that the studio is working on either like a remake, a remaster, or a new game in the Hunter the Reckoning series. If you guys remember those games from the PS2 era, and apparently how this was found was somebody like they did a Steam update for it, and it removed all of the contents of the RoboCop game and replaced it with an entirely different build featuring like the Hunter executable. So it was like a botch, and we don't know if it's like a brand new game in the series or whatever. Because the guy took screenshots of it and it says Hunter the Reckoning. The actual games under that title are by another developer and were 2D text based, unlike whatever this is. Like it just has he's just kind of like walking around some early stuff. So I was just like, well, that's weird and interesting. So we might be seeing the Hunter the Reckoning series coming back. Sure, why not? Those games always looked interesting to me, but I never played them. And there was somebody in one of our Discords who popped in. I forget which one it was, and they were a huge fan of that series. Like, so there are people out there who want them, I guess. Who knows? Let's see. Valve insists it's releasing the Steam Machine and the Steam Frame in 2026 after a blog said it hoped to. So yeah, so there's been all this kind of like will they or won't they with the Steam Machine with everything that's been going on recently. But I guess they are now determined to be releasing it in what we assume is the first half of this year. I suspected like a June thing. I don't know why June, but that's just kind of what I'm thinking. But of course, the question we all have is, what the fuck is this price going to be? Like, is it going to be worth spending whatever money it's going to be on for it? I guess time will tell. Which is a shame because, again, it was something that I was like genuinely interested in. But if it's going to be stupidly expensive, who knows?
Yeah.
And speaking of stupidly expensive, Xbox has confirmed their next console called Project Helix. I guess they're at GDC this week, I believe, talking to like developers and such about it. And they've confirmed it's going to run both Xbox and PC games. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, great start in the morning with Team Xbox when we talked about our commitment to the return of Xbox, including Project Helix, the code name for our next generation console. It'll lead in performance and play your Xbox and PC games. Looking forward to chatting about this more with partners and studios at GDC next week, which I believe is. So they've confirmed it is a hybrid machine, which isn't really that surprising. I think, I mean, they've been doing like, the ROG Allies and, that big PC initiative. So I'm not surprised they're, trying to bridge the two together even further. Is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? We'll see. I don't think it's necessarily a bad one because it is like the one thing that kind of makes them stand out, especially if they're going to keep doing hardware. It's like, might as well lean more into like, the PC market, I guess. And I guess the rumor is it might be launching sometime next year. So, and again, this comes down to how much it's going to be. It's probably going to be expensive.
It's just so weird to me. Like, I saw the announcement like for that thing, and I was just kind of like, it was the most like lukewarm I think I've ever felt about a console announcement.
I think that's fair.
Well, just because like someone had brought this up in like the Discord, like they had asked like what the peak of like the Xbox Series was, and I was like, I don't think it's reached its peak. Like, I don't think either have.
I mean, I think if it like had one, it was maybe like early on, but like they're probably talking about like when people were still like, excited about the console or whatever. Because in some ways, it feels a little DOA with how everything's been going on, which is a shame because I think it's a fantastic console.
It is. Like Sony and Microsoft made two really good systems. I just feel like neither one has done shit.
Yeah,
since they came out.
Yeah, like how many times do you hear somebody say they're like, oh, I bought a PS5, but I just don't touch the thing. I just don't like, it's just dusty and I don't use the fucking thing at all. Like
mine's been getting the most use it's had in like months this month alone.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Like it's, yeah. Like, I guess just either like more and more people are going towards PC gaming in general, or like Sony and Microsoft just don't have enough to really entice people to get to their consoles. Who knows? Or there might just be a bunch of people who are playing games on both machines and just don't make a fuss online, because there has to be those people who they just have one and play games on it, but they don't engage in this, roundabout bullshit like you and I do. So who knows? I mean, like again, the Helix, it's something that would be beneficial, or it's something that would appeal to me. Again, the idea that you can have one box where I can play all my Xbox games natively, of which I have a lot, and then my growing PC library, I can put all of that into one device that sits under my TV. Like, to me, that sounds perfect for my situation and like the ecosystems and everything that I've been in. But if this thing's like $1,200, I can't justify that. That's too much.
Yeah.
I'd have to wait for it to be like, 700 before I consider it. But at the same token, as you said with the lukewarm thing with Helix, would there be a similar reaction if Sony's like, here's the PS6? I think most people would
right now. Yeah.
It would either, lukewarm, or people being like, we don't really need this.
Well, because majority of like the PS5, when I think of like games on it that really have done anything, like I think like maybe like Final Fantasy 16.
But that's on PC and Xbox.
It's on everything now, but like even then, I mean, I'm just speaking in general.
I mean, there are PS5. There's like the Spider-Man games.
I should rephrase that. I'm not talking.
Those
like
are
exclusives.
I was gonna say because those are on PS4 too.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not talking like exclusives. I'm just talking games that actually are like next gen. Like Rift Apart, maybe like Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, Rift Apart. I'd have to really think about the games that really like push things forward, because I don't really play that many games where it's like it's really pushing the hardware, man. Like, I still think like the most graphically impressive game I've played to date is Hellblade 2. That game looks incredible, and I believe that's PS5 and series only, because it's on PS5 now. But really, that's like the only game I can genuinely think of, because other than that, I'm playing games that are like you could run them on PS4 and Xbox One, no problem. Though in May, when Forza Horizon 6 comes out, that's not getting an Xbox One version. And actually, I was like, did Horizon 5 have an Xbox One version? It did. I did not know that. I thought it was series only. But yeah, that game looks really good anyway. But 6 looks freaking amazing.
I'm actually curious. Did Gran Turismo 7 come out on PS4?
I think it did.
Yep, it did.
Yeah, Ragnarok did. I think Spider-Man 2 did. Like we're in an era where, if you just think about it, developers just aren't really pushing the hardware capabilities of the consoles like they used to. And I mean, that could be for a number of reasons when it comes to like, they got to make games as well for PC, and you have to think about all the different types of, graphics cards that are out there that people run games on. Like,
Ghost of Yotei. That's
okay. Ghost of Yotei. I think the Demon Souls remake is PS5
I was sitting there, I'm like, Ghost of Yotei.
There's only like the true PS5 exclusives that are just on that and nothing else, not even PC. Like, it's very few. Even if you add in PC, it's like, well, a lot of these games also came out on PS4 as well.
That's what I was saying, because I'm like trying to think. I'm like, what's come out? I'm actually surprised Rift Apart was PS. Well, it came out on PC.
Well, because they tried to be whole like, oh, it needs like the PS5's SSD to work, and then once it came out on PC, everyone was like, that's bullshit, because it ran just fine on people's lesser hardwares. But they have to advertise the thing, whatever. Yeah. Again, it just, as I said, I just think that like a lot games, they're just not pushing the hardware like they used to. But again, that could be for a million different reasons, right? Like, game developers are making their game for everything nowadays, so they have to factor in all, like the Switch and lower end PCs and all these other kind of lesser hardware, so that more people can play their games, because pretty much every third party publisher or developer these days is just being like, just put on everything, fuck it. More opportunities to sell games, pretty much.
Yeah, so
there's just less and less exclusives, and it's probably just because, the hardware makers just don't see the value in putting all that money into a third-party game with no guarantee of being a big seller. Like I feel like Rebirth kind of opened some people's eyes, like in the gaming industry, where they're like, that was a big PS5 exclusive, right? But it didn't sell very well. And then that's when Square's like, we're rethinking our strategy, which meant they're just going to put everything on everything now. So
Square also like went into that thinking all the people that bought remake, we're going to immediately buy Rebirth.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
that's not how that works.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, hell, you look at like Steam charts and everything. Like people don't buy really that many or play that many new games anyways, and
Not
that's
anymore.
and that could be, well, that's economic conditions and things like that.
Yeah.
The world's on fire. We're gonna start paying $5 a gallon for gas now. It's great. All in the name of freedom or something. I don't know, something stupid. Anyways, yeah, again, Project Helix, it's something I would be interested in, but again, price point. And I feel like when Sony announces the PS6, that's going to be the same thing, where it's going to be a lot more expensive, and there's probably going to be a bunch of people going, do I even really need to buy that?
Yeah.
Like imagine a game releasing on PlayStation 6, whatever the new Xbox is going to be, PS5, Series X, PS4, and Xbox One. Like a game releasing on all 3 generations. People are going to look at that and go, why the fuck do I need the new one? If like so many people are still just gaming on a PS4 and an Xbox One.
Yeah.
Because so many games are still being made for it. It's like, why bother? And the big forever games that people play, like Fortnite and Minecraft, like why would you buy a PS5 to play like a prettier Minecraft? What's the point in that?
Yeah, pretty much. It's
so
gaming's in a really weird place right now.
It's in a spot where it feels like really just what you have now, you'll be fine for another like 10 years.
Honestly,
when it comes to hardware, like I think people are just going to more and more retreat into the hardware they have, because the prices of the hardware are going to keep going up. And I just cannot imagine a world where everything's going on right now where people are going to look at like an $800 plus PS6 or however much the new Xbox is going to be, or we'll just say PS6, like an $800 PS6, and being like, am I really going to buy that to play like 2 games?
I mean, you look at like the Switch 2. People are hesitant to buy the Switch 2.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. At least that's like at a price point that's not the worst.
No,
like 450, 500 with Mario Kart World. It's like that's not a horrible price, right? But if that thing goes up, which I have a feeling it's the price, we're going to get a price increase on that before the year is out, I would guess. Like it's going to get harder and harder to justify it for some people, and people can say, exclusive games all they want. But I just think these days it's harder to justify a high price tag for just a couple of games. Some people will do it, but will it be enough? I don't think so. I think most people will just stick with their PS5 or whatever they have and be fine. So yeah. I don't know. I'm just talking. Because it does kind of go into the whole like PlayStation saying they're getting rid of their single player games on PC.
Yeah, so, I found that odd.
Yeah, well, from what I've heard, I guess their PC strategy hasn't yielded the returns that they wanted. So like the single player games, your Spider-Man, your God of Wars, whatever, haven't been selling as much on Steam as they would have liked to, which, could come to like, delayed releases and all this other kind of stuff. And as far as I know, like multiplayer and live service stuff, or like games like Death Stranding 2, which are like, published by them, but it's not really their game, like in the same way, like those will still be coming to PC. It's just basically like Ghost of Yotei is not getting a PC port now, kind of a thing. And I mean, again, sure. As some people think it's tied to this new Xbox, being a PC hybrid, and maybe Sony's like, well, fuck no, we're not going to put them on PC anymore because some filthy Xbox player is going to play our game on their console. It might be that, but I don't think it's that deep.
It could very well be just they're not making money.
Just being petty. Yeah, because really, like the live service stuff, like say like Helldivers 2. Like Helldivers 2 did super well for them, but I think it sold mostly on PC.
See, the thing with the single player games, I think, is like a lot of the people that would have wanted to play those games probably own PS5s and probably already bought them. Yeah, like a PS5 or a PS4, whatever they were on. Well, because it's like when FF16 came out on Xbox and the sales were kind of meh at first.
Yeah.
Most people were kind of like, I'm pretty sure the people that wanted to play it bought a PS5 and already played it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's where their audience is. So, but I imagine. See, I would be curious to like how much it would cost to port a game from PS5 to
That's what I'm
Series.
wondering. Like, if
I
it's a
imagine
cost
it's
thing.
like from PlayStation 5 to Series, right? I imagine the porting cost isn't that high. And my guess is, say that game sold, I don't know, 100 or 200,000 units or whatever at whatever price. They probably have recouped that cost by now. So they're probably all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just weird, like Xbox is trying to embrace everybody, and then PlayStation's trying to be like, no, just us, and then Nintendo's over here just being themselves, and nobody cares.
Nintendo's over there just flipping everyone off. Like, yeah.
Nintendo's just doing what they do, and it seems to be working the best of the three.
Nintendo's over there just like sticking out the finger and being like, you're gonna buy it anyways.
Yeah, because Nintendo's been like grandfathered into all this stuff, like they've been doing it since the very start, and they've never, considered pushing back ever. So everyone's just like, whatever, like we know they're not going to budge. Whereas like the other two have shown they could budge. So I think that's why some people think a little differently about it. But it is what it is. Oh, it's not in here, but I thought I saw something about Battlefield. It was something like really bad. Because there was some like other crappy things in here, so I didn't want it all to be crappy. But this one just kind of blew me away. Oh yeah, it's EA lays off staff across all Battlefield studios following the record-breaking Battlefield 6 launch. So it says here, EA has laid off an unknown number of individuals from across its Battlefield teams, including workers at Criterion, DICE, Ripple Effect, and Motive Studios. Individuals are being informed that the layoffs are taking place as part of a realignment across the studios, as the team continues its ongoing support for Battlefield 6 following launch. All 4 studios remain operational, though the layoffs seem to be impacting a variety of teams across multiple studios and offices. And yeah, they said like it was one of like the biggest launches in Battlefield's like history.
Yeah, I've heard like two of my coworkers legit have been playing it since it came out, and they like won't stop talking about it. I'm like, Jesus.
Like I played both like open betas when they were out for free on like consoles and everything. They were great. I was like, this is a fun game. I don't know if I'm going to pay $70 for this game, but I liked it. And I even tried their like Red Sec, which is like their Warzone clone or whatever. And it's fine, but you can tell like Battlefield is not Call of Duty. Like they're very different games. And so trying to turn Battlefield into that is just kind of
that's the biggest mistake that EA made, was trying to make Battlefield more like Call of Duty, which is I think one of the reasons why like
it suffered for a while.
Like not 5, but the one that was after 5 before 6.
Oh, 2042.
Yeah, that one didn't do well.
Yeah, which is So, but when I played through 6 or played that bit of 6, I really enjoyed what I played of it. So.
From what I've heard about 6, they found they refound like the true meaning of Battlefield again, and that's why it was so good.
Because I think why Call of Duty and Battlefield were able to like compete and be there with each other during,
because they were like such different games.
Yeah, exactly. Like Call of Duty is when you just kind of want to run around and shoot everybody on your own.
I think someone described it as Call of Duty is where you run and you're like, I'm Rambo, and then Battlefield is about teamwork and actually like using your brain at times.
Yeah. So. Like Call of Duty is Rambo, and then Battlefield is closer to like say like an Overwatch where you all have to work together and you have your roles.
Yeah.
So, but no waifus in Battlefield, unfortunately.
Well, there are mods.
Yeah,
I've seen them.
Yeah, but it's such a shame to see this. Like even with this game doing super, it was the same thing with Marvel Rivals. Like that game did super well, and then it's like, good job, team, you're fired, get out of here.
Yep.
Bullshit, man. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. And then the last thing I had was Ubisoft did a big like update about like the Assassin's Creed series in general. Like they appointed a new head of content, and they talked about like, oh, the next game, which I believe is codename Hex, which I believe is taking place in like the Holy Roman Empire, and it's going to be like a darker game or whatever. They're like, we're still working on it and talking about all the other stuff. But in the middle of it, they said, quote, speculation around Assassin's Creed is not new, but it's worth repeating. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. Well, except in this case, some whispers have a little more wind in their sails. Keep your spyglass on the horizon. And then they show a picture of Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. It is confirmed.
Okay.
They didn't name it specifically, but they literally show it right after that. So, I mean, it was like the worst kept secret for a while is that they're working on the Black Flag remake. And then with all the bullshit going on with Ubisoft, I think people were worried, like, oh, is it still happening?
I mean, those Prince of Persia fans are still salty, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, they should be.
Yeah.
I've heard talks about like a build of that game getting leaked online, so we'll see. But yeah, Black Flag Resynced is real. It's still happening. My guess is we might be seeing it this year, which would be great because I like Black Flag and I'd be willing to play it again.
It's probably
though I don't think I'll pay $70 for it.
Yeah, like
when it's like 50, I'll grab it because Black Flag is really good. Unless they sell me on it in a way that makes me go, holy shit, this thing looks awesome. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I've already made a stupid gaming unnecessary purchase already so this month, so
it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
I guess.
And that's really all I had, other than like
the only
other thing I saw was that like Sega said like, oh, we're glad everybody likes our games, but they need to buy them.
Yeah, they do that. Like,
well, they were talking about that in I guess their most recent financial report. And of course, when I read that, I was like, if you didn't make Sonic Racing Crossworld $70, it probably would have sold more. I say as a freak who bought it at full price to another freak who bought it for full price.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a great kart racer.
Oh, I love it.
But $70 is a lot.
Yeah, I told everybody just get it when it's cheaper.
Yeah, so that we can all play it.
Yeah, we need to play that game. God damn it! When I saw that, it made me go, I want to play that again, but I haven't yet. So, but that's everything.
We did get Nintendo Music, and it's actually good stuff for once.
Nobody spoiled me this time.
It actually popped up when we were watching Tony play Outlast yesterday.
What a trip that was. 3D World. I thought that was already there.
Yeah, same. Or maybe, you know what it probably was? 3D World was there, but this is 3D World plus Bowser's Fury.
Then why is it showing me both?
Because reasons. I don't know.
Well, because what's nice is when you look at their when you pull up like the search in all games, you can sort it by added. So now I can like see when stuff gets added most recently. So yeah, they put them both together. Or they're there. Cool. I mean, cool. Soundtracks to those games are fine.
Yeah, that's one of the better modern Mario soundtracks that isn't Odyssey to me.
I've always liked 3D World. I think 3D World was a solid game.
It was. Well, 3D World, 3D World, like, to me, surprised me with just how good a game it was when it came out. Even actually, I think single player is probably arguably more fun to play. But
I've messed around with the multiplayer with Rack Jr. As far as like trying to think, I played like a demo of it when it came out, or there was like a demo kiosk in GameStop, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I don't know if I'm going to buy a Wii U though, but that's cool. And then I didn't play it until the Switch port came out.
Yep. And
then playing through that for the first time was really fun. In fact, that came out during COVID, didn't it?
The Switch port did, yes.
Yeah, and I remember sitting here like in online classes listening to lectures while I was playing it.
See, I bought that game on the Wii U because I was trying to be a diehard Wii U supporter back in the day.
Bless your heart.
What a choice that was.
I mean, here I am, a diehard series guy. It's not really working for me either.
I'll say those free Mario Kart 8 days, like the online, that was the shit. Like that was great.
Oh yeah. But, I'll take your word for that. I didn't play 8 until the Switch port. So.
Yeah.
I haven't touched much Wii U at all. I've probably told the story before, but like the girl I was dating at the time when the Wii U came out, she bought one with it It came with Nintendo Land, and then she got Zombie U, and we had fun playing those. So like that was a fun time, but it didn't convince me to
Zombie
buy a
U.
Wii U. I was like, this is cool.
Zombie U is such a weird game, but it's better than people give it credit for.
I've played a bit of Zombie, like the version that they ported to like PlayStation or Xbox One. It's fine. I played a bit of it. I was like, yeah, it's all right. I don't know if I'm gonna beat this thing, but you know, I put like I think I put like 3-4 hours into it. I was like, sure, it could be worse.
Yeah,
it just made me want to play Dead Rising.
That's fair.
Yeah, I still need to do that. God damn it, I have Deluxe Remastered down there. Still haven't played it.
Yep. Yeah. Other than that, that's all I can really think of.
Yep. Schnickerman, I hope you're pleased. Let me know.
We'll have him back on at some point. So.
You know, I hope he says something in the Discord. Hi. All right. Yes. Let's get to our game for this week.
All right. You have a fun physical copy.
I do. Look at these little guys. Look at these little chibi boys. This is, of course, for those who can't see it, this is Guardian War.
One of the rare 3DO RPGs.
Yes, there aren't many of these. And have we covered any of them before this? We covered Syndicate.
Seal of the Pharaoh.
Seal of the Pharaoh.
That's about it.
Yeah. So we'll probably be diving more into the RPGs for this thing. Probably this year, I'd say.
Yeah, because there's one big one that we've alluded to in the past.
Yeah. We still got to step that up.
That one's going to take some preparation because I do actually want to play it.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. The Advanced Dungeons and Dragons games, you know, we will cover them. So this is like one of our first major ones, and actually, this is one of the first games I got for the 3DO. So when I was like doing research on this console, you know, after I agreed to do this, you know, I was looking at I was looking through the library and seeing like what are the games that people say are really cool or whatever, and this game seemed to come up quite a bit. And then I watched gameplay of it. I'm like, oh, it's like a tactics game. It reminds me of like Shining Force or whatever. Like that looks cool. And then I think I ordered this on eBay. I think it wasn't expensive. Last time I checked, this game is still fairly affordable.
It went up a bit because I did try to buy a copy of this and I was like, yeah, not for that price.
Oh, it's expensive now because I didn't pay that much for it at first.
Let me double check because last I checked it had gone up.
Let's see. I do not have the long box, by the way.
So the jewel case, like $40.
Yeah, I paid a little less than that.
Yeah. There's a long box version for $70. That's actually not terrible. I wouldn't pay $70 for it, but it's
if it's in really good shape.
There's options. It's come down a little. At one point it was going for like 60 and I was like, not for that.
yeah, that's fair. But yeah, this is one of like the first games I grabbed because it looked really interesting and I played a good amount of it, testing like the console and everything, and I really enjoyed my time with it. So
it's an interesting game. Like,
yeah, so we finally got back around to it. So I was looking forward to this one.
So one little fun fact about this game that I found out. Apparently, in Japan and Europe, it is one of the few 3DO games which is region locked.
That is weird.
Only in Japan and Europe, though. The US and NTSC version just works on everything. The PAL and Japanese versions, though, are region locked.
That's weird because NTSC is also Japan.
Well, I guess the NTSC-J versions don't.
According to this, it says it only applies to the PAL game and console. Both NTSC versions can play on both US and Japan consoles.
I misread that.
So you can't play the PAL version for all of our European friends. Apparently in Japan and Europe, this game is known as Power's Kingdom.
That is such an awkward title.
Yeah, like Guardian Wars, much better. Rolls off the tongue more. You know?
Guardian War it makes more sense, although for some reason I keep wanting to call it Guardian Wars. It's like they lost they lost the S and accidentally stuck it at the end of Powers to make that title just awkward.
Yeah. Maybe they didn't want to give it the Wars subtitle because of like, I don't know, like Famicom Wars or whatever. But
maybe. Yeah, because that is technically a trademark.
Yeah. And I like the long box where it just says in the corner 3D simulation RPG.
Yeah,
Like that's
what does that mean?
I don't know either. Though apparently it is one of the few 3DO games that uses like complete 3D animation,
It
or at
does.
least like one of the few RPGs of the time. Because yeah, if you think about it, this game came out in November of 1994 here in the States,
So
and it's completely 3D.
it also predates FF7,
Yeah, by like 3 years.
which that isn't one of those funny things where like FF7 like is the game that broke RPGs into the mainstream. Like it does deserve its
In America.
accolades in America. It does deserve its accolades, but at the same time, a lot of the accolades it gets aren't true.
Yeah, a lot of astroturfing around Final Fantasy VII. That's why its remake is 3 fucking games.
It's because its remake was literally a thing where Square was like, "Oh, hey, we're doing this," and then just threw it at a team, and the team was like, "What?" Like,
yeah, it's a mess. But yeah, it's like surprisingly, ahead of its time as far as like using full 3D animation and everything. Because really in '94, trying to think what RPGs were around in '94, because it was stuff on the SNES and the Genesis.
So, 94,
so you have Shining Force 2 was that year.
Phantasy Star 4.
Phantasy Star 4.
Earthbound? Earthbound was 95, but close enough.
Was Final Fantasy 6 this year?
I believe so.
Okay.
And I think Chrono Trigger as well.
Chrono Trigger was 95.
95.
Yeah.
And I think also Mario RPG was around that time as well.
That was 96.
Oh yeah, that was a later
It
game.
released a couple of months before 64. Like they were actually very close together. But like you can see like the year this came out, it was still like 2D RPGs were the thing.
Oh, Dragon Quest 6 might have been around that time.
I think Dragon Quest 6 was after Chrono Trigger.
Was it?
Yeah, it got Dragon Quest 6 got a little bit delayed because of Chrono Trigger. So there you go.
Okay.
But you can see like this game is in like right at the start of that turning point of RPG starting to embrace 3D graphics and 3D technology. So it's kind of cool to see an actual game on the system be a little bit ahead of its time. And it was developed by a company called Microcabin, who we will be discussing in the future. This is not their only 3DO game.
Yes, and I also like to bring up Microcabin because they created a game that we will be covering later, so I'm not going to get into that entirely. But I have to bring up too, they created a game called Blazing Heroes, which is one of the most bizarre Saturn games ever made. Mostly because this game has like 3 different names, and what's crazy is out of those names, like 2 of them got US releases for some reason.
Yeah.
Because there was the Blazing Heroes was the later release. The game is known as Ridgelord Saga in Japan. And I forget the other US name, but there's like 2 versions of this game that you can find. And it is just one of those things where you're just like, why? Oh yeah, it's also called Mystaria, the Realms of Lore.
What a fucking name.
Like, what's hilarious is I almost bought a copy of Mystaria, but then I realized it was literally just Blazing Heroes. I'm like, I already own this. I don't need another version of a sort of mediocre action tactical RPG game.
Fair enough. But yeah, like Microcabin, it says here they got acquired by AQ Interactive.
Yes, another company that doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, because then they became a consolidated subsidiary of Fields Corporation. So they've been kind of thrown around a bit.
Because when I think AQ, I believe AQ helped with. I think they helped develop. Oh no, they were also part of the company Feel Plus, who I believe, along with Mistwalker, made Lost Odyssey.
Well, no, Feel Plus, no, they were a subsidiary of AQ.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and Feel Plus, yeah, they co-developed Lost Odyssey. They did some work on Infinite Undiscovery and Star Ocean, 99 Nights 2, things like that. But AQ Interactive, they helped co-develop The Last Story.
Yes, that's what it was.
Along with like making games like Bullet Witch and Vampire Rain.
Oh yeah, along with Kavia, because I believe Kavia also helped out.
Yeah, a lot of just like weird, smaller Japanese devs, right?
Oh, and they had Artoon, the Naoto
Blue,
Oshima's company,
Blue Dragon.
Blue
When I think of
Dragon,
Artoon, I think of Blue Dragon.
and then they also did Blinks
Everybody's favorite game, Blinks.
and Yoshi Island DS.
Yeah. So, but anyways, Microcabin, yeah, we're started out here and just kind of, they were one of the. There were actually a couple of 3DO Japanese developers because I'm sure we've mentioned it before, but the 3DO had a bit of a niche following in Japan.
It was weirdly popular over there.
Yeah, because Microcabin wasn't the only like Japanese dev working on things for it. There's like a handful of Japanese exclusive games for this thing. And nowadays, if you want to buy a 3DO console, probably the easiest one you can get is a Japanese model FC10.
Yeah,
Like those
easier
are like
to find
readily
than
available on eBay. Yeah, mine is American, but like Japanese ones are just like all over that thing. And since the thing is region free for the most part, you'll be fine. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, this is one of I don't think this was their first game for 3DO. Might have been.
Can't really tell from the.
Well, because on Wikipedia it just goes to AQ Interactive, so that doesn't really help.
Yeah, you gotta go via Moby Games if you want to find more on Microcabin.
Yeah, which is such a weird name for a game dev, even though I kind of like it.
It's different. Let me see here. Looking at their games. So their first game was a game called The Life Stage, which was an educational game that I'm sure we're going to have to play at some point.
Oh, we will. We will. Okay, it was released in the States. Thank God. Because I am worried about when we hit the Japanese only ones.
Yeah.
But we'll get.
Oh, they also did a game called Puppet Tale that has no cover art.
That might be Japan only.
There's not enough info.
But yeah. But anyways, this is one of their first games for it, and they decided to make this like little tactical RPG with these little chibi guys. And it's very influenced by like Fire Emblem and Shining Force and that kind of stuff. Here, I'll read the manual. So right here it says, "This is a story about another world, another time. This was a beautiful world guided by a goddess Erald. Darkness feared the goddess Erald, and there was no way that darkness could enter its beautiful world until we don't know. So we gotta. So the intro of this game, it's like
that voiceover is the best part of this game.
It's so cheesy with like the lightning, and then they show the goddess Erald.
Who is that lady? I want to know who that lady was.
It's just like this weird picture of a lady, and they like superimpose green hair on her.
What Playboy model did they grab that from?
It's very cheesy, kind of corny, but like it has a charm to it. You know that like
it was very charming playing.
Yeah, because you can tell when they were making this game that they knew it wasn't necessarily groundbreaking, but they're like, let's do it. You know, this will be a fun little thing. So yeah, so basically you got to go save this goddess from the darkness or whatever. So you start out as Sword Boy, that guy, right?
Yep.
And you're taken to this map where you just have these little squares, these little nodes or whatever. And for the most part, they're battles. You can tell because they have the little red flag on them. So you go into the battle, and then there's this overworld. They're just kind of running around, walking on in a weird grid-like pattern. It's weird because you'll be facing one direction, right? You can go forward, back, left, right, but your character will stay facing the same way. So if you want to actually turn the camera, you have to use the shoulder buttons to turn to the left or to the right. It's not clunky. It's just a little weird, but it works, whatever, right? And then on the map, occasionally you'll see little red dots, which indicate enemies. There's yellow for treasure. There'll be like kind of hollow dots, which are like you can get on special panels, which are like they'll heal you during a battle or they'll shoot you across the map or something like that. But once you get close enough to an enemy, they go, danger, danger, every time.
Some of the in-game voices you listen to and you're like, "Ooh, this was not the best quality recording."
Well, once again, I think we've talked about it before, but you can tell when like Japanese game designers are directing English voice actors.
Yes,
It's culture clash there, for sure. So, but yeah, but you get into the battles and they're just just reminds me of Shining Force basically. Like it's all grid based. Like you take your turn, it shows you like the grid you can walk on, and then at the end you can choose whatever your abilities to use, like to attack or whatever, and then you do the thing, and then you just kind of repeat over and over. It's a little slow, but I think that's due to the game being completely 3D. So,
Yes.
like I wouldn't say there's like slowdown or it like chugs, but it's just a little sluggish. But this being a turn-based RPG, it's really not the end of the world or anything like that. But what I always thought was weird is how like they will shift the camera so much during the battles. When like a skeleton will come up to hit you or somebody, the whole camera will slowly turn just so you can see it from like the exact same perspective of the enemy in the background and you in the foreground.
Yes.
So, but it's fine, I guess. What do you think, Bill?
The gameplay I liked. My only issue is you can tell this game was pushing the 3D a little hard at times because, my God, some of the battle animations were slow, which I did find out you can turn those off apparently, to make the game a bit smoother. A lot of the times, this game kind of suffers from like the jank that a lot of these early 3D RPGs have.
Yeah, you can definitely tell. Some of that kind of jank there, but I mean, it's not bad by any means. I was kind of getting into it.
It's fun. It's one of those games where I wish I had it back in the day because trying to get into it now, it's a little too old.
Yes, I've run into that same problem with, say, like Tales of Symphonia, for example, where I've played it these days and I go, man, if I played this when I was 12, it'd be the coolest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't hit that same way. But with Guardian War, it's similar to where I'm playing it, I'm like, it's really good. I enjoy it, but it's like I enjoy it almost from like a curiosity perspective.
It's kind of like
even though the idea of seeing this game to the end does intrigue me.
Yeah. A game that's kind of similar that I always think of is like Shining in the Darkness, where like
I like this more than Shining in the Darkness.
Shining in the Darkness is rough.
I'm not a big fan of like first person dungeon crawlers.
Yeah.
And I've tried to get into Shining in the Darkness many times. Sorry, Jala, I've tried, and it's tough for me because it's just not my kind of game. Like I see stuff like Kingsfield or Atrarian Odyssey or whatever, and I look at those and I'm just like, those just don't interest me. Like Phantasy Star gets away with it because it's not the whole thing.
Yeah, and they dropped it after one, anyways.
Yeah. So, and also the music in the dungeons was fucking awesome. I will say that the music in this game is not too bad.
The music was fun. Like I really enjoyed it. Like it's
like that searing like heavy metal guitar, and then you go to the shop and it's like the most Muzak jazz you've ever heard in your life.
Oh yeah, it's like whenever like I love when you find it like a song. Like I just sat in the shop at times. It was just like vibing.
Yeah, me too.
Like I think of it, it's kind of like in Phantasy Star 2, like whenever you go to the save screen and there's just that one song that's just really catchy for no fucking reason.
I haven't played Phantasy Star 2 in such a long time.
If you heard it, you'd probably recognize it.
Yeah, I need to give that game another try because I tried playing that game when I was like 10 and didn't like it at all.
Phantasy Star 2 is rough.
But it was my very first RPG, and that's not a good starter.
That's fair.
Because it turned me off to the genre for a long time.
Phantasy Star 2 is a weird one because the battle screens are all those grids and it's just kind of boring.
Yeah, but I do want to give it a try though, because I beat the first game like a year or so back, so I'm like, if I've beaten 1, I can beat 2.
Yeah, and then 4 is like, in my opinion, one of the best RPGs of that era.
Yeah, I want to do the 1 through 4, but yeah, back to this guy. What else are you gonna say about this one?
I was gonna bring up 2, so I was just looking at like the composers are actually listed, which is kind of cool, even though they don't have Wikipedia pages.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's so apparently this game's very similar. Yeah, it says Shining Force is a huge inspiration for this game.
Yeah, like the UI reminds me of Shining Force and like the way they present the grids and all of like the battles. I feel like it was more of an influence than say like Fire Emblem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always laugh because the creator of Shining Force literally said his goal behind Shining Force was to make Fire Emblem look good. So,
And he succeeded.
it
I mean,
definitely.
you compare Shining Force to the that era of Fire Emblem games. I would say Shining Force is better than those.
Oh, yeah. No.
Fire Emblem did get better, but then Shining Force got worse and lost its identity. But we're not here to talk about that. I'll get
This
sad.
game has kind of a Camelot vibe. Like Microcabin games
Yeah,
kind of give me that Camelot vibe, or Sonic software planning as they were called at the time.
like this game could be on Sega Saturn and we wouldn't blink an eye.
Yeah, I mean, because the Microcabin made a bunch of Saturn games after this, and
Yeah,
they
I'm
all
surprised this never got ported. I mean, this has like Panasonic's name plastered on it at the top, but they're not listed as like the publisher. The publisher is listed as Matsushita, which as Panasonic. Never
which is
mind.
Panasonic. Yeah, I was gonna say.
God damn it!
That's their corporate name.
I walked right into it. So that's probably why it never got ported, because Panasonic was like, "No, we need a game to sell this console," and they're like, "This game, I guess."
It's got 3D in it.
Though I imagine there is some like depth to this game with like it's like the bodies or whatever, because as you go through the game, like you first start with your knight and then you get the priest like shortly after that, who he can heal, but he can also unleash this like field of light or whatever. It's just like a rainbow cone that usually one shots enemies. So you just kind of back and forth that. But later on, as you go on, you'll find bodies for like the archer, the shaman. They have a birdman, a wizard, a samurai, all these other kind of things. And in the menus, there is like a weird, like, it almost looks like a tournament or something where it's like at a certain point, it's like, oh, you can like upgrade this character's class to a different one. Or I think like during battle, you can like switch your guy to another class like in the middle of it or something, which is like an interesting idea. And I know as the game goes on, you get a bigger party, because you have that just that one guy for the first like I think 2 battles or something like that, and then you get the priest, and then you're with the priest. It's just the 2 of you for a good chunk before you get like a third character, which I believe is the archer, and it just kind of goes from there.
Apparently,
I do wish there was a way to get more characters earlier so you could have a more complete party.
Yeah, apparently from what I read, the stone guy, who's like one of the later ones, he breaks this game in half if you know what to do with him, because he's kind of
a
little from what I read. Yeah. Apparently he's very hard to kill, so that makes him kind of useful.
Yeah, and at a certain point in the game, you get the ability to like have the enemies help you. Like you unlock an ability that like you can get them to like join you or whatever. So you can like get one of the saber tigers to start fighting the enemies alongside you, which is that's kind of neat. Like there's some neat ideas in here. But like the progression of the game, we were talking about Shining, it reminds me of Shining Force CD.
It does, to a degree.
Because Shining Force CD is purely battle, right? They trim out all of like the town exploration. I mean, they were like upgraded Game Gear games, so that's probably a part of it. I haven't played the Game Gear originals yet, so I can't say. But like in CD, it's like you'll fight the battle, and then here's the little like town bit where you can like talk to your commander, go to the shop, save, and it's like all right, on to the next battle, and like all the lore and the story takes place on the battlefield, and you even like can find items in the battlefield like randomly. You'll pop on a square and it'll say search, and then you can grab something, which I believe in one of the earliest battles in CD, they do a cool thing where you crash your ship onto the beach, and then they're like search around the beach for like stone, like sticks or whatever, and that's how like you find your early weapons, kind of a thing, which is a neat concept. So this game is definitely taking inspiration from that and just doing the battles and having like any story stuff be kind of minimal and in between everything, which is fine. But I think with a game like this, especially with the 3D animation, you think they would want to put a little bit more effort into having, like proper cutscenes and maybe, having a little bit more of lore. Because in the manual, just reading through it, they don't go deep into like any lore, like at all.
Yeah. It's kind of the thing I found with this game is it's very entertaining and fun, but like it's kind of it struggles to keep you engaged at points.
Yes, and I think some of that comes down to like how slow the game is,
Yeah, it's
and like your field of view is very obscured, and the battles do get kind of repetitive because the game takes a real slow time introducing new enemies, but even when it does, they all just have basically the same pattern. Really, just like run straight up into you and try to fight you, kind of a thing.
you know there was a game series that this reminded me of, but it's like escaping me right now. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It was a PS1 tactical RPG created by Konami.
Suikoden?
Not Suikoden, that was turn based. Like it's this killer. It's one of those games that fucking the guy in Metal Gear can mention in your memory card.
Front Mission?
Not Front Mission.
Vandal Hearts?
Vandal Hearts, that's the one. This game reminds me a lot of Vandal Hearts.
Never played it.
It's very similar 3D tactical game. Kind of hard to get into nowadays, but it's got a similar vibe.
Okay. That cover is very Western RPG.
Yeah.
I vibe with it. But I vibe with it. Why not? But yeah, but with this game, like even though it has all the faults or whatever, I did very much enjoy my time
It's
with this because I would turn it on, play like a battle or two, and be like, that's enough for the day, and then just repeat that process for a while. And yeah, and in that way, it's enjoyable. Like, and difficulty wise, it's not super tough, really. As long as you make sure you heal everybody consistently enough, you'll be all right. Because the enemy can swarm.
Yeah.
And you can kind of lock yourself into some pretty shitty situations if you're not careful. And that happened to me a couple times. Because there is what I like is you can just kind of save whenever, but really your saving is just like it'll save you like at the start of like another battle or something like that. Like it won't save your progress in the middle of a battle, right? Which I think is fine, but when you die and you reload the save, it's like, oh, I got to do this whole thing again because those battles can go on for a bit, for sure. So,
yeah, it was kind of it was interesting to me. Like the thing I think that hurt it the most was in a lot of tactical RPGs, like especially like a Fire Emblem or Shining, you get really into the stories. And I think the kind of just lack of story during gameplay kind of like if the battles weren't so fun, I feel like this game would be very boring. But because the battles are fun, it kind of makes up for it.
Yeah. Like it helps that the core of the game is really entertaining and fun to play. Because if it wasn't, everything else would just be kind of lame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The story is very dull, unfortunately.
Yeah. But I feel like it was intentionally made to not be like this real like deep thing, you know? Because like I guess because like Fire Emblem has its deep lore. I think Shining Force did a really good job with its story as far as
being a bit more lighthearted.
Lighthearted, and it never really got in the way. You know, like the pacing of those games were just top notch as well. So, but I feel like, you know, this game suffers in a way, say, like Shining Force 3 suffers a little bit, where as much as I have a lot of respect for Shining Force 3, it is a game that's like it really needs some pacing because the start of the game is such a slog. It takes a long time. Like once it finally gets going, you're just doing Shining Force stuff and it's great. But god damn, it's a slog at the start, which is
tactical RPGs. I think just had a hard transition into 3D because like a lot of them like struggled to like get the pacing right.
Yeah,
because like when you think like Fire Emblem, they didn't go 3D until the GameCube era, so like they at least by then like hardware was a bit more up to snuff.
Yeah, but I always felt like for most of Fire Emblem's existence, it was never really like prioritized. You know, like it was never seen as like this like important franchise that they need to do all this stuff with. It was just Nintendo being like, "Oh, we have an RPG series. Okay, keep doing that, I guess." And then on the 3DS, it blew up. And then they're like, oh, I guess it's a big deal now. And so now they've put it on as like one of their big franchises because it has like the longevity and everything. But if you read the tea leaves, it's like they didn't really give a shit about this till like 10 years ago.
No, well, because even in Japan, it was kind of struggling, like because like it was on death's door when Awakening came out.
Yeah, so yeah, I probably just a little bit of revisionist history on Fire Emblem, which is a shame because then you'll see stuff like Shining Force, and it's like Shining Force was kind of holding the torch for many years.
Oh yeah.
And then Final Fantasy Tactics came out, and everyone gave a shit about that instead. So fuck.
Or if you were a PlayStation fan, you had Arc the Lad, which is such an underrated RPG like tactical series.
Is that the one the original Fire Emblem director did?
No, that was Tear Ring Saga.
That's right. So I know he had left because he was pissed at Nintendo not giving a shit. So he made Fire Emblem for PlayStation.
Yeah, and it's straight up Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Arc the Lad came out, has a translation. Unfortunately, it's a Working Designs translation, so the only
so it's
version,
not good.
I mean, I like Working Designs translations more than most people, but just mostly because they're stupid. But it's more so the fact that finding the games is almost impossible because you have to buy them in. Well, actually, I think they were on PSN for a while. You could buy them individually, but if you want the physical version, you can only get them in the Arc the Lad collection, which is one of those Working Designs fucking big box games. That's hard.
Arc the Lad collection.
I've
probably seen that on like Steam or something.
Yeah, that's a good series, but not this game.
Fair enough. Yeah. So what else you guys say about this guy?
Reception wise is actually pretty fascinating because this is like one of those rare 3DO games that's actually for the most part well received.
Yeah.
Your hearts are distracting me right now. So the game received 2 awards in Game Fans 1994 Mega Awards.
That's I hate that.
Mega Awards.
Awards.
Including Best Strategy Game and Best Special Effects on the 3DO, which, yeah, I mean, Strategy Game, it probably was the only one in the category.
Well, there was a time where like RPG and strategy were just kind of like the same game.
Yes.
It took a while for strategy games to kind of, and RPGs to split up, and because like they're very much their own thing these days. But special effects, I don't know about that.
GamePro's Leonardo da Video, that was a choice, declared Guardian War one of the most original, enjoyable, and addictive RPG strategy games to come along in a while. He remarked that the system of party members changing bodies and carrying along subbot. What a weird way to describe that.
I mean, that's what the game refers to.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like thinking about it, like that's just an odd way to do that, but whatever. Is a highly unique yet easy to adjust to due to the simple and virtually self-explanatory interface and highly praised the graphics, especially the spellcasting effects, which are nice, but my god, they slow the system down at times.
And I will say with the interface, it's a little clunky. Like it's not as easy as say like Shining Force, where in Shining Force, you do your movement and then you push the button and you can attack, magic, stay, use an item, that kind of a thing. Yes. And when you do that, it ends your turn type deal, right? This game, it like you can walk around and then you can do your attack and then it asks you if you're finished moving. Something I like is that you can attack, like you can run up to an enemy, attack, and then retreat to get out of their field so they can't get you. Like it's a cool idea, but like if you want to use an item, if you want to like, go into defensive mode or whatever, like you have to go into like the menu and then scroll to it a little. It's a little clunky. It's like once you've done it enough times, you're like, oh, okay. Like it's not that bad, but it's not like if you played Final Fantasy, if you played Shining Force, you played Fire Emblem, like it's not how those menus work don't line up with this game.
Yeah. Look, so looking at the reviews, like interestingly, like the lowest review I can see is like Joystick gave it a 60%. And then like Next Generation and 3DO Magazine were 3 out of 5 stars, which that's pretty good for 3DO games standards.
Yeah,
Also, I love the fact that there's two publications, one called Video Games with a Space, and then one called Video Games Without a Space. That's just fun.
that's how saturated that market was back in the day.
Yes.
My guess is one of them was American and the other was European. That would be my guess.
So, video games and computer entertainment. That one's so No Space is American, and Space is. This entire article is not in English, so I'm gonna just guess.
German.
It looks German to me.
Yeah.
That's fun. Okay. Yeah, I like this one though. This was a fairly fun game.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. It's a game that it was just nice to like sit down and play like a proper RPG for this thing, and play one that's like, oh, it's not like overly gimmicky or like has
It's
questionable design choices, or is just like completely like fumbled the gate out, out the gate. Like, no, it's like fairly competently made. You can tell it's made by a bunch of devs who they couldn't get jobs at Enix, but they were able to like kind of make their own studio and try it out.
They made a lot of PC RPGs from looking at their gameography before this, so they at least had the chops.
Yeah, and playing this game, you can tell they have an idea of what they're doing.
Like, because I'm comparing it to the two other RPGs we've covered so far. Like, a mercenary is an interesting idea that just kind of doesn't do enough with any of its ideas, and it's kind of just it exists.
Yeah.
And then Seal of the Pharaoh is a functional game, but it's just kind of boring because it just kind of it's repetitive to the point where it's not really fun.
I found myself laughing at Seal of the Pharaoh because of how cheesy it is.
Like, everything worked in that game, but it was just kind of like that's all it really did.
Like Seal of the Pharaoh feels like a CDI RPG.
Kinda. It kinda does. Which is such a weird thing to think of.
Yeah, like at least this feels 3DO.
This feels like a game.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it really works.
Like
at the end
even
of the
like
day.
Looking at the graphics, like just looking at like some screenshots, 3DO 3D is such a fascinating thing to me because it has like a look to it that like only the 3DO really does.
Yeah.
The 3DO did 3D weird, which is kind of funny in hindsight.
Yeah, it really is.
So I guess must play, okay, stay away. I'm gonna say this was a must play.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely going must play on this thing. I think if you're wanting to play games on the 3DO, like this is one I would easily recommend. And dare I say, I will call this a true hidden gem for the console.
Yeah, no, this is right up there.
A game that doesn't get talked about a lot, really. And you play it, you're like, you understand why. But, for the standards of this system, I think it's very highly up there. I think it's going to join our high quality 3DO games.
This is right up there with like Icebreaker, like the Daladus Encounter.
Oh, yeah.
Just like those, like Siberia is its own masterpiece in its own right.
Yeah. But I think Guardian War clears a lot of those for sure. For just being like a really well-made game. Like on like you put this on like PlayStation, it just gets completely lost in the shuffle. You put it on Saturn and people go, oh, that was cool. But you put it on 3DO and then it kind of stands on its own near the top.
See, I feel like if this was on Saturn, it would be like Blazing Heroes, where like people would be like, what a mediocre RPG.
Oh, yeah.
Move on.
And then it would be like $300 on the used market.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh, boy.
Get your Saturn ODEs, kids. Get them.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was a fun one. But
for sure.
I guess I gotta. How do I end an episode? My brain
you run 3 of these things.
I know my brain has been mush lately. Once again, guys, thank you for joining us.
Talk about employee appreciation, huh?
All right. Thank you for joining us on the 3DO Experience. You can find the 3DO Experience on all the podcasting platforms, and be sure to check us out on the Superpod Network. That is superpodnetwork.com. Awesome site with a whole bunch of different creators, videos, blogs, all sorts of fun stuff over there. We actually have a few new creators recently added, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, shout out to them. Hopefully we can get them on the show, because that is a prereq.
Yes.
For being in Superpod is you have to come on the 3DO.
Yes.
So
just quick shout out to, should probably give them the name. Press Pause Radio, the newest members of the Superpod network.
It's a very chaotic show.
It is, but honestly, that fits the Superpod mold.
It really does. Yeah. So shouts out to them. We'll probably be having them on in the future. So yeah.
And also check out Aaron and Dre's new podcast.
Yes. Go listen to Neo Geo Go. It's the first episode is out on Baseball Stars, and it's really good. So
it's so good I forgot to add it to the scroll. I'll do that now.
Yeah, I keep bugging them to have me on for the Neo Turf Masters episode. So maybe not. It's fine either way. It's just I love Neo Turf Masters. So this week I am planning to start work on the next episode of Thrack Ops.
Nice.
I know it's been a while, but I got Ghosts here. It's loaded up, ready to go. So hopefully this week I can get started on it, because I think it's time to get another one done. So hopefully this will be out in a couple weeks.
Nice. And I don't think I shouted it out, but I just wanted to throw out there. I was on Pixel Project Radio somewhat recently. Me and Rick talked about 3D Dot Game Heroes.
I haven't listened to that yet, but I need to.
It's a wonderful game that doesn't get talked about enough, so go check that out. But yeah, anyways, guys, once again, thank you for joining us, and we will see you all later.
Bye-bye.